How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Fame, and we're back with another FPL live stream. And today it is the Game Week 17 deadline stream. So we're going to be going for an hour, and it's going to leave us around 3 or so minutes before the FPL deadline, because it's at 2:15 my time, which is 1:15 EST. It's a bit of a weird one. The United game's been cancelled. That's the title of the stream. We're going to take a look at captaincy and stuff. The watch list I've kind of just thrown out the window because I don't know what to think of the watch list at the moment. We're going to take a look at some stats tables as per usual. We'll be taking your questions in the chat as we normally do. And I'll be making my transfers again live on stream. So yeah, it's going to be complicated like... D. Sarkar, I think is how you pronounce that. It's going to be complicated this week with all the COVID cancellations. It will be. So I think we're going to be fortunate to potentially get even a full squad out. So I'm going to try to at least get the players from the teams that hopefully don't have any issues. So hopefully that we're A-okay on that front. But yeah, before we start, let's talk about Fantasy Football Scout. So, if you haven't heard about Fantasy Football Scout, it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. We're going to be seeing a few of the tables today that I've custom made, as well as you can make your own custom tables. You can look at all the public ones as well. I made all mine public in the area, and you can get access to them, as well as heat maps and all different sort of stuff. And I did pronounce the name right, fantastic. I try my best, but if I don't, let me know. Yeah, we'll take a look at some of the players in there. Nike mentions the Spurs name in the Spurs game in the chat as well. We do have the players in there. Whether they're going to play or not, we don't know because Conte hasn't had his press conference yet, which is a bit annoying. So we will still take a look at that. So we'll check that out as well. And all the normal stuff that we usually do. The goals imminent table and the whipping boys table as per usual. So we'll make sure to check out that. But without further ado, let's see what the team's looking like at the moment. So, we got the team up on the screen for you there. The mic's just a bit in shot, so we'll just move that out of the way. There we go. So yeah, the teams, it has a few issues. So Cancelo being out this week is a bit of a problem. Ronaldo has a blank now. Our bench isn't looking particularly strong, with Brownhill potentially being pushed out of the team, with Cork being back in the team. Locadia doesn't play, and you know, Brighton might not even play this week. Like, who knows? We don't know anything at the moment. So making transfers is like super dangerous at the moment. So yeah, it is a bit of a weird one. Also, Liverpool 200 followed while we were offline. So thank you for that as well. So yeah, we really don't know what to kind of expect, basically. For me, I have two playing goalkeepers, which is great. Although there have been rumors that Guaita might not even be playing this week, that could be an issue in itself. Diaz, Trent, James, and Alonso should be safe for the most part. Again, we don't know about the Liverpool team. They're playing against weak opposition at home. Maybe Klopp rests players. Who knows? Salah, Jota, you would think they would probably be back in the starting lineup. You would think, but Firmino's also fit. So again, there's some doubts there. Rafinha should play, but he has a bad fixture versus Man City, which could be a bit of an issue. Smith Rowe was on the bench as an unused sub to help me get some Rafinha points last week. But, again, could be an issue where he doesn't play because the likes of Martinelli's probably going to see more game time, and Lacazette will as well, because Aubameyang has been basically stripped of the captaincy and is not in contention for this week. It might not be in contention for a few weeks, potentially. So some disciplinary issues there as well. So that could be a bit of a issue for any Gunners. How's it going, Zodiac? Glad that you could join us as well. So maybe Smith Rowe doesn't get the assured start that he will. I assume he would, because I think he's played 90 minutes basically when he's been fit. So yeah, could be a bit of a problem for anyone who owns Smith Rowe like myself, hoping that he starts this week. Then I have Ronaldo, who's just a blank. St. Maximin plays on Newcastle, who's awful. Newcastle, not St. Maximin. St. Maximin's a halfway decent player. I then have Brownhill, like I said, who could get pushed out of the team. And Locadia, who doesn't play. So I think I might need to try to strengthen the whole team rather than, you know, just one or two players. But we'll see when we get to the transfers. Zodiac says, I feel like crying. I have 8 playable players. Well, You're not going to be the only one, to be honest. I think, depending on the fixtures and whatnot, we could see a situation where it could be a bit, it could be a bit tricky, all things considered. If no Spurs, yeah, again, Spurs, we don't know. The one thing I can say with Spurs, though, is that I think it was Brian Hill. Son was one of them as well. There was a bunch of different. There was a bunch of different Spurs players that were mentioned. Brian Hill was definitely one of the players confirmed that initially tested positive in the Spurs camp. But I think Son might be one of the ones that was also potentially out as well. And there's a list. I can't remember who. I think the FF Scout maybe retweeted it or something. So it could be a bit of a problem. Yeah, Son and Lucas Moura. That was the other one. Yeah, Lucas Moura. I think Ben Davies might be on there as well. They also mentioned Romero, but Romero's a long-term injury, so that's obviously different in that case. Oh, Skip as well. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so probably the only FPL concern, and maybe Region, but Region I think was also injury related. And he said he would be back, so I think I think they're fine there. So yeah, it could be a bit of an interesting one. And then there's also worries potentially the City game might not go through as well, but I think that might just be rumors potentially. I'm not too sure. 0 keepers, 2 defenders. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a bit of a problem. This was the worst week. Tell me not. This was the worst week for Cancelo to get injured. The worst, or not injured, to get suspended. The worst week he could have got suspended for was this week where there's all these cancellations. Liamson234 says Rashford to Foden, and then do I take a hit for Hwang to Watkins? I like that move. I like that move a lot because Watkins will play, and I think he's going to be the main man up front. I haven't heard any cancellations from the Norwich Aston Villa that we know of at the moment. I will, however, put Twitter up on the side just in case, because that is technically the deadline now, is the Norwich versus Villa game. So we will keep that off to the side when we need it, basically. But I don't see anything that would show any issues for that. I see Seb from the Scoutcast. He's taken out De Gea, Gundogan, and Ronaldo for Watkins, Jota, and Ederson for -8 potentially. So that could be interesting as well. So yeah. Again, if you're not the only one that's going to be in the camp of potentially hits flying around and that sort of stuff. The only thing is, I'm a bit worried. I'm a bit timid to make transfers of brigadier players. I don't know who's going to be playing. That's the problem. But yes, Liamson, I do like Watkins this week for sure. I got Duffy out for this same thing. Yeah, Duffy's also suspended as well. Yeah, it's another problem. I consider Foster to Backman, Ronaldo to Watkins / Lukaku, and Duffy to Walker / White. I mean, it could probably work. Some of the transfers that I'm potentially considering now is because Ronaldo, if he doesn't play this week, yeah, you have to pick players that are not a rotation risk. Literally, you have to pick players that aren't a rotation risk. So, like, am I going to get rid of St. Maximin? Maybe not this week because he's 2 points, probably. I mean, he got 1 point last week because he got booked, but do I get rid of St. Maximin knowing that he's an actual player that can play? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. I think one easy move for me to do is Ronaldo downgrade to Lukaku, because then Ronaldo has he has Brighton and Lukaku has Wolves, but Lukaku also has Everton this week as well, and then I can get Ronaldo back next week, or like 2 weeks on, if he's not one of the players that was having to isolate potentially. I believe Ronaldo's tested positive before and also is double vaxxed, I think, so if I remember correctly. You only need 1 transfer just to be sure to have 11 if ESR won't play. Yeah, because I have my back 4. I have Salah, Smith Rowe, Jota, Rafinha, and then a transfer to bring in for Ronaldo. Like I'm half tempted. Like I potentially want to bring in Watkins as well, but I don't want to get rid of Saint Maximin to bring in Watkins and then potentially have an issue there. Um, but maybe I just go for it, to be honest. Just because it's just a better fixture. Watkins, if he plays, if there's no cancellation, he plays this week, guaranteed. If he doesn't play next week because of the team he's facing or whatever, then cool, whatever. Then we just go from there, to be honest. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a tricky one. Like, I've also considered getting rid of Diaz as well, who randomly went up in price last night, which was quite nice. But St. Maximin went down, so the player I wanted to sell in St. Maximin is less value, which is, kind of annoying. Yeah, it's really, really weird. Like, I don't even understand how people could be making transfers before the team news. I just don't get it. I really, really, really don't get it. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna have to do is err on the side of caution. Like, roll a transfer again with two, like use one and then roll another transfer again, and see what the game week brings. To be honest, because I think using 2 free transfers in what potentially could be the start of a bunch of cancellations, having 2 free transfers every week could be super, super valuable. So yeah, I think that it might be smart to potentially hang on to the second one. So maybe just going for Lukaku. But I mean, maybe I can get the edge there. Like, that's another thing I'm also thinking, is maybe I can get the edge to get, bring in the likes of a Watkins or somebody who has good fixtures long term. Doesn't necessarily look like it's going to be any issues for Villa specifically. And they could be fighting basically a very weakened version of Norwich, as weak as they already are. Could be a bit of a turning point potentially, and Watkins is fairly lowly owned as well, so it's just something to consider basically, as well. Also, if you're wondering what I'm doing on my second monitor, it's because I have Final Fantasy 14 open on my second monitor, and I'm just doing some stuff that basically you can do once every few minutes, basically. Crazy GTA 91, thank you for the follow as well. Let's check the chat real quickly here. So you could get Ronaldo to Watkins in, and on the weekend, if United play, then get Ronaldo again. You got a strong team. Yeah, I could do that. I could also go to Lukaku as well. Is another one. Is Jota a risk of rotation? Yes and no. Firmino is back, but I don't think he's going to start this week. I think Firmino will start versus Spurs, because Spurs will have plenty of rest. And that's Liverpool's next game. So I would assume Jota plays versus Newcastle and then gets benched for the what's the name game. But we could see Salah get benched. That's the thing. We could also see Salah get benched. That's not out of the realms of possibility as well. So keep that in mind. Because at one point during the Christmas period, Salah and Mane both get benched in one game. Salah has not literally been benched ever, and that's because he's just been beating everyone, basically. And has a blank since Gameweek 2. So there's no reason not to captain him, basically. If you want a headache, you can help with my team end up in the spare time. That is a headache. Yeah, I mean, you can post in the chat. We can give it a whirl. I did a -8. Kane, Reguilon, and Basuma to Bernardo, Dennis, and Trent. Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. I was Ronaldo and Brownhill / Bomo to Sterling and Dennis. I think that's a very risky move, but I like it. And Zodiac agrees as well. So yeah. Let me just quickly bring up Twitter just again off on the side and see if there's anything new. Let's see. Don't see anything at the moment. So don't need that. -4 worth it for Huang to Watkins, or just use one and I will have a full team but no bench because of Cancelo and Mbeumo? I think it's worth it if you're going to play Watkins. The question is, Liam, that you have to ask yourself, who would you play? Who would you play instead of? Would you be playing Huang instead of Watkins? Basically, would that be your player that you're playing? Because that's kind of the question you need to ask. Since Man United fixture postponed, I have to sell him for Watkins. Yeah, I mean, selling him for Watkins is a good downgrade. I think Lukaku again is also another option as well. Let me know if you end up with spare time. I'm so lost this game week. Hey, put it in the chat. We can give it a whirl, to be honest, and might get some additional help as well. Huang, yeah, I think the -4 is probably worth it, to be honest, especially if you're going to keep Watkins over the next few fixtures as well. What are the chances of ESR playing? Well, he was on the bench as an unused sub, but I think his position could be in doubt because of the fact that Aubameyang's now been stripped of the captaincy and just kind of removed from the picture, which means Lacazette's going to play, and Martinelli's been playing well as Odegaard, so it might be in a bit of jeopardy, but I think he probably comes back in if he's fit. Ben Dinnery, the lineup predictor guru, predicting ESR not to play, so well, there you go. There you go. And he was dropped last week, but now Jimenez is suspended, so he might just play. Yeah, the Watkins transfer long-term looks better, to be honest, because he's playing through the middle. Yeah, why did it have to be this game week? Yeah, I mean, even, who was it? Cancelo, as an example. Why did Cancelo have to get suspended on the week where everything is just going out the window, basically? It's really, really annoying. Can I link you? Need a screenshot to see the mess that I'm in? I have to change it on I'll have to change it on Twitter. So just give me 1 sec. In that case, do I do ESR or Livramento? I think. I think Hasenhüttl said, like, he might be fine, but I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be making sideways moves like ESR to Odegaard. Crazy. I don't think that would be something to consider, to be honest. Let me go on Twitter and then allow for DMs, basically. How do I do it again? I can't remember. Notifications. Okay, it's not there. Not there. DMs. Okay, yeah, you should be able to do it now, Zodiac. You should be able to do it now. Does it mean I messed up? No, I don't think it's not necessarily. I mean, I think it's fine if you wanted to go that route, because I think Odegaard will start for sure. But Odegaard has been a substitution risk potentially, so yeah. I was just, what would I do with CR7? He's probably gonna go to Lukaku, I think. Message request, share the tweet, accept. Okay, so would cry if you had my team. So you have Sanchez and Foster, so 2 non-playing goalkeepers. I think that's fine. You could potentially just roll that, to be honest. Well, Rafinha's going to play. Sissoko's going to play. Cancelo's suspended. I think what you do is you see if you can get a defender. Oh, and Jimenez is suspended too. Antonio and Mbeumo don't play. Oh, yeah, that's a bit of an issue. Tony to King, maybe? Tony to King. Or Jimenez to King. Keep Tony. Put Sissoko in for Mbeumo. Yeah, it says you have Sanchez in goal. Am I looking at the wrong one? Oh, nope, never mind. I got it. I'm looking at the wrong one. Yeah, I got it. So no goalkeeper, no De Gea. You got Livramento as a problem. So you have James, Trent as your 2 defenders. So you need at least 3 defenders. Salah, Jota, Sissoko, Bowen all play. King. So basically, you can do... I'm not sure if you have enough money to do this. I don't know how many transfers you have, but Ronaldo to Lukaku and then Livramento up to Alonso, maybe? That's possible. And then just don't worry about the keeper. Yeah, so you can take a -4 Ronaldo down to Lukaku, Livramento up to Alonso or something like that. Then you have 3 defenders, 4 midfielders, 3 attackers, and just forget about the goalkeeper. If you wanted to do that. Say Maximin to Watkins is the only transfer that looks good to me. I mean, yeah, that's true as well. I could do that, but then again, I still need to figure out the Ronaldo problem. Thought Rush would be a good differential now. No, I think United is just United's a weird one at the moment. I consider not making a keeper transfer, but do you think United will play Saturday? I think it's possible, but then you can always just make the 1 keeper transfer because Brentford will be good on the weekend. So then you'll still have Mbeumo. I think Duffy's back as well, although he plays United, so at least you'll have something there. I don't know how much money you can do, but I think maybe Alonso would be the good one. Best cheap defenders long term. I think if United's playing, Delot potentially would be the best one, but obviously they're not playing, and there's a bit of an issue with their game being suspended this week, so. So yeah. So -4 and play without a keeper. Yeah, that's what I would do personally, because you want De Gea long term, unless we find out that, come next week, oh, De Gea is one of the players that tested positive or something. Then you can address that situation then. Because to me, there's no real goalkeeper that's a standout that I would guarantee bank a clean sheet on this week. To be honest, apart from Martinez, and he could be a doubt as well. Or Alisson, but again, Alisson takes up a Liverpool spot, so that's you're not doing that either. So, do you think Lukaku outscore Watkins in the next 2 game weeks? Potentially. I think he has a lot of potential to do damage versus Everton. Everton's defense is absolutely woeful. Like, it's genuinely dreadful, to be honest. Let me just reopen Twitter back again. I'll check the teams in just a second. I'm just checking Twitter. Yeah, I see a few people going to Watkins. Yeah, I could technically do both as well. Okay, let's see what we got here. 0.1 short of transfer is painful. Yeah, it is pain. Need more games to see Ralph starting 11 to be solid for United. Yep, exactly. My team goalkeeper. So we got Ramsdale, James Trent, Hoover, Odegaard, Salah, Tielemans, Son, Bernardo, Dennis, and Watkins. So potentially Son could be a risk there. Hoover won't play. Probably. So yeah, I would say maybe address those two potentially. Son, I think Son could be back. With Spurs, I have no information literally whatsoever. We don't know. Conte's press conference is tomorrow, which is why the midweek ones are annoying. Sanchez, Walker, Livramento, Alonso, Trent, Reguilon, Gundogan, Bernardo, Salah, Jota, Smith Rowe, King, Kane, and Broha. Don't know what to do. I would say I don't know who your backup goalkeeper is, but I would say make sure you have a playing goalkeeper. Reguilon, I think, is fine to come back into the team. Bernardo might be a rotation. Gundogan might be a rotation risk. Kane and King will play if they play. Broha, I'm not sure if he's fit or not, but I think he should potentially play as well because I think that Che Adams had an injury or something potentially. But this game week's gonna be bad. Walker will play because Cancelo, obviously. Not confident in Lukaku. He looks terrible. Well, he hasn't played really, but yeah, we can go for it. No worries, Zodiac. How's it going, Snow? Glad that you could join us. Sanchez, Cancelo, Semedo, Trent, James, Omobama, Deli. So you have 4 defenders. Zaha, Rashford, soon to be Foden, Salah, Jota, Mbeumo, Dennis, Antonio, and Wang, soon to be Watkins. Yeah, I think your team's fine with that as well. Rumor lineup has Foden, Mars, Sterling tonight with KDB in the midfield. Yeah, so Gundogan might be on the bench. Hover or Marte. I don't even know which one of those could potentially be starting. What's wrong with Sanchez? Oh wait, no, Sanchez. I'm thinking. I looked at the other image. Sorry, completely ignore me on the Brighton Sanchez thing. But Brighton have a bunch of different issues in their own right. Sterling party, maybe. Ronaldo to who? Watkins, Watkins or Lukaku or both potentially. So I can bring up the transfer screen real quick here. So transfer screen. This is what I was thinking of doing. We go Lukaku, and we go Watkins. We have 0.4 million in the bank. We play 4-4-2. We play Smith Rowe, Rafinha, Salah, Jota, Watkins, Lukaku. 4 across the back, and our 2. We have 2 goalkeepers. That's how I'd have it if I went that way. So Bachmann or Sanchez this week. Watford play. Who do Watford play? Can't even remember who Watford played, to be honest. I will check in just a second, though. But I think you probably have to play Sanchez over Bachmann, to be honest, because Watford just don't keep clean sheets, like, genuinely. Brighton have a much better defense, so I guess just go with the better defensive team. I don't recall Brighton playing a really stiff team this week, though. Burnley? Oh, yeah, right. Watford played Burnley. I still think Burnley could score, though. I still think you play Sanchez, though. Unless, like, Watford was, like, at home to, like, Norwich or something. Then, you know, you can potentially play Bachmann. And, like, if Sanchez was, like, up against City or something where you knew he was going to concede. But I think you just play Sanchez. Like, this week, like, Ramsdale plays West Ham. And I'm, like, half tempted to just play him anyway. Is the deadline in 30 minutes? The deadline is in 34 minutes. It's 15 minutes past in the next hour. The new hour. So yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking about doing on the screen there. Lukaku and Watkins for St. Maximin and Ronaldo. That would be for free. let's see. Who does Guaita? Guaita, Southampton. Let's see. Who does Sanchez? Where's goalkeepers? Goalkeeper Sanchez. Sanchez has Wolves at home. Yeah, play Sanchez. 100%. Is it worth having Mbeumo long term? I think if he's your 5th midfielder, I think yes. Like if he was like your Brownhill right here, I think it's probably fine. So yeah. Actually, are there any midfielders that are 6 million? No, I'm thinking about it. Midfielders, 6 million. Gallagher 6'2". Ben Rama, 4 nows, maybe. I'm just thinking if I could use that extra 0.4 to go from Smith Rowe up to somebody. I could go down to Odegaard if I wanted to. But yeah, nothing really excites me there. If I have to sell either Mbeumo or Brownhill, I will sell Mbeumo for the cash. They're both useless. What you would do is you would upgrade Mbeumo, basically. That's what you would do. You would just upgrade Mbeumo. So yeah, that's what you would do. But yeah, I think these would be the 2 transfers that potentially I could do. I can also easily just... I mean, is Lukaku better for 2 fixtures versus St. Maximin for 1? I think he's probably better. Let's take a look quickly at the... I want Aït-Nouri, but don't know when. Yeah, I mean, he looks pretty good, too, for 4.3. Let's take a look at the goals a minute table. So basically what this is a table that basically shows the players that are slightly underperforming or could potentially have chances to score. This has been over the last 4 game weeks. We have some players on there that are quite familiar to you that will probably stay on there for a while. Tyler Roberts has been on there once before, if I remember correctly. Hakim Ziyech is on there, very French player for Chelsea. Gabriel Jesus is an interesting one, actually. Could be a differential forward for this game week. Timu Pukki, cheaper striker, this week going against Aston Villa. And then Sadio Mane is another one. So it could be quite interesting for those. But typically, most FPL managers have Salah and Trent, and then probably Jota. And if they don't, then you need to basically, if you want to get Mane, you have to get in 2 moves. And the only issue that brings around is that when AFCON comes around, getting rid of both of them is a bit difficult, basically. So, because obviously they're both going to be leaving and not being able to play. Lacazette's another differential one, yeah, because Aubameyang's not going to play, so Lacazette could be a nice cheap alternative as well. I'm also going to put up the season ticker as well. So this is the sorting the fixtures by overall. So if you look at the best fixtures, West Ham, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, and Man City are at the top, which is why a lot of FPL managers are looking at West Ham assets as well. Also considering potentially getting rid of Rafinha for Jared Bowen could be another option here as well. That could be something that we also go for. Or if we went for King, we could go Brownhill up to Bowen, I think. So if I did this, went King, and then did Brownhill, I could get Bowen as well if I wanted to make the bench a little bit stronger. I could do that. I could do that as well. When is AFCON rumored? I think the players, in terms of when they're going to start going there, I think it's just after like the games on like the 26th or the 28th, I think. So basically after Boxing Day is when they're at risk. The games themselves start I want to say on like like January 8th or 9th or something like that is when they start, if I remember correctly. So that means the likes of Salah, Mane, depending on how far they progress in the tournament, Dennis from Watford, Eric Bailly from Man United. There's a lot of players that could potentially be utilized that won't be able to. Obviously, Salah and Mane being the most potent ones. Dennis being also another one as well. That would be in a lot of FPL teams at the moment. It could be interesting. Kane to Lukaku, and that'd be for a -4. I'm not sure that would be worth for -4 because I think Kane plays, but again, I've heard nothing around Kane. So again, I don't know. On that front, I really don't know. Spurs is weird, so it's a bit of a weird one. I could do a filthy -8 Duffy, Ronaldo, and Bomo to Sterling, Virgil van Dijk, and King. 0.1 point. Couldn't read that properly. 0.1 short of Dennis. Yeah, I mean that's possible. That's something you could do. Yeah, that's definitely something you could do. I still think Sterling is a bigger risk now. If I was gonna go as an expensive midfielder like that, I would just go Mane or something. Go Mane instead of Sterling, and then instead of Van Dijk, go somebody else, basically. That's what I would do anyway. Because I think Sterling, with Grealish back, with De Bruyne back, he's more at risk now more than ever. Because Pep's first best 11 in theory is Foden in the false 9, Grealish on the left, Jesus on the right, De Bruyne and Bernardo in the midfield with Rodri as the CDM. You would think, at least. I could be wrong on that. But let's take a look at, we did the goals imminent table. Let's take a look at the captaincy against. So the worst defenses over the last 4 game weeks, Watford, Leicester, and Newcastle are at the top of that as well. Everton in the top 5, or top 6 rather. And some of the best defenses, Liverpool, Man City, and Spurs. Spurs obviously been a bit of a cheat because of the fact that they didn't play one of the games. I feel Sterling is back. Yeah, he could be, but again, I'm just saying, with Sterling, that expensive of an asset, he is a rotation risk in Man City's team with their players that they do have back now. Potentially. So yeah, if you're playing against Watford this week, so if you're Burnley, you're looking good. If you're playing against Leicester this week, who do Leicester have this week? I don't even know. Vardy. Oh, they have Spurs. So yeah, that could be nice for Kane, or if Son's playing as well. And then Newcastle, obviously Liverpool. Everyone's got Liverpool, so we shall see. But yeah, on the season ticker, Aston Villa, Palace. I mean, Villa's fixtures look nice. Next to Norwich and Burnley. They should be doing quite well in that one. Which one I'm looking at Watkins, potentially. Chelsea in the short term are decent. Any point of taking in King? Have a cheap forward. That's about it. Because Watford's not all that great, to be honest. If you're going to go for Watford forward, Dennis looks to be the one. But again, he has African Cup of Nations soon as well. Could be a bit of an issue. So yeah, that could be a bit of a problem, to be honest. But yeah, if you just need a cheap forward, that's about it, really. A couple of good fixtures left. Nailed on. It's what we need right now. Nailed on players that are playing. That's what we need. We just need players that are playing for teams that don't have a fixture that's cancelled, right? That's just basically it at the end of it. When everything is said and done. So, do I think Dennis is the better FPL asset. I mean, for sure, he's shown that. But King is on penalties. We do know this. But Dennis is the better FPL asset at the moment just because of the sheer fact that he's just... It just seems like all the goals are... they're all going through him, basically. King's had a couple of chances here and there. But, what can you do? They're 0.1 in between them. They're two forwards. One's going to score one week, one's going to score the next week. You just never know with that, which is kind of a bit of a weird one. Do you think Foden long-term is better than Sterling? Yeah. I think Foden is, when fit, undroppable from Pep, I think. He'll get rotated, obviously, because he plays for City, and that's just what Pep does. Gives players a rest every now and again, but I think Foden is so crucial. Because Pep always has talked about like having left-footers in the team. And the most notable left-footers are Bernardo Silva and Foden. Funnily enough, Man City's probably two best players with Cancelo this season. So that's kind of what you're looking at. I think Foden could be a good investment. The only thing is that I'm still wary on City, and it's not... I don't have any easy access to kind of go there. I could probably get rid of, Ronaldo and go to a Foden. Maybe that's something I can go for. But if the City game gets called off or something for whatever random reason, then I'm, in a bit of trouble there as well. So, but again, it's just like, who do you bring in, to be honest? Who do you bring in? And I also I want Ronaldo back when they play against Newcastle away in a couple game weeks' time. That would be United's next game if they don't play on the weekend. Because they have nothing midweek because they don't play Carabao Cup. So I want that price point. So if I get rid of Ronaldo, and then I have to bring two transfers to bring him back. Whereas if I can always save a little bit of money or, have it ready to be basically prepped, as it were. I feel like Pep Roulette hasn't been as prevalent season, and it hasn't been. But if I get Foden and he does well, I'm gonna want to keep him, obviously. And then I'll be like, oh well, I need to make way for Ronaldo. What is that gonna be? Who am I gonna drop down to get Ronaldo? So yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Let's take a look at so we did the captaincy against. Let's look at the captaincy table. So if we look at the top players there, no surprises. Liverpool, Rafinha's up there actually in third, surprisingly, on the list. We can see some of the City players in there. Foden, Jesus, Bernardo Silva are in there, and then all the Chelsea players are down the very bottom, which... a few of you mentioned in the chat you don't trust Lukaku. I think these stats show that he hasn't been doing well when he's come on, at least from substitute appearances. So definitely not going there with the captaincy, but could be influential elsewhere. Obviously Salah's going to be the captain for sure this week, but it's just a matter of will he be benched or not. I hope he's not. Vice captaincy will probably be potentially important this week as well. So we need to keep an eye on that. There is a possibility if the Brighton game and United is cancelled that it could be rescheduled midweek and still remain in Gameweek 18. That is also a possibility as well, because I believe both Brighton and United are not in the Carabao Cup, which would be interesting to know as well. So getting rid of Ronaldo could be a bit of a problem if I don't have an immediate make way to get him back. But also, Brighton is a little bit of a difficult fixture in itself because they don't typically concede very many goals. So if I was going to go something, maybe I just go like Ronaldo. We get Watkins. And then we save... Maybe we do St. Maximin to King, I guess, maybe. To get a little bit extra money. Then how much do I have on top of Ronaldo? 1.3, basically. So I can go Watkins. which could allow me to go from Rafinha to how much is Foden? Foden's 8 million. So if I wanted to go Watkins straight to Ronaldo, I would be 0.2 short at the moment. Alternatively, I could just upgrade Brownhill and just get Foden. Play him these next 2 weeks, and then get Ronaldo in 2 weeks' time, maybe. Doesn't Brighton have COVID issues? I mean, I think they have more injury issues than anything, to be honest. Brighton's defense is decimated. That's another reason why I don't want to get rid of the Lukaku spot, or the Ronaldo spot. I really don't want to get rid of it. Because of the fact that literally I want a way to get back to Ronaldo easy. Without like getting rid of players that I potentially would want, like a Foden or somebody like that. Who is also in himself technically a rotation risk. I mean, he was benched last week. Like, any player can just get hooked. Like, today, Foden could start and get hooked at halftime or something. You know. We just don't know, to be honest. Also, when is the FPL deadline? The FPL deadline is in 17 minutes. So I'm going to have to make a decision soon. I'm going to have to make a decision soon. I will listen to you and do Duffy to Alonso and Ronaldo to Lukaku and play without a keeper. Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing we have. Lukaku's is the easiest way to go back to Ronaldo. He's the easiest way. Literally, he's the only other option. Right? Unless I'm just blind and seeing this. Potentially. Think that would just go Watkins and keep the money in the bank. Yeah, that's another thing too. You could do that as well. Like, I've considered that as well. The thing is, I wouldn't want Ronaldo potentially versus Brighton. I'd want him versus Newcastle for sure. Because again, United's game might be played versus Brighton, but Ronaldo might be one of the players that has to isolate. We don't know. That's another thing. We have no clue. It's rumored that 4 of the players that were in the squad that went to Norwich, this is just a rumor, 4 of the players, I'm not sure if they played or if they were in the squad or what, but 4 of them tested positive. So, we don't know. Who those 4 names are? I ain't got a clue. So, yeah. It is a bit of a tricky one. You know you want Lukaku. I'm going to have to go over to the dark side. And get in a Chelsea player. Yeah, because what I can do the following week... So, like, if I go Ronaldo, St. Maximin, to Lukaku, and Watkins... Lukaku, I need 1 million back, but I only have 0.4. So I'm going to need to make 2 transfers anyway. One of those makeways could easily just be Watkins again. Because he plays Chelsea. I can downgrade Watkins back to Tony, potentially, or something like that. And then get Ronaldo. Or I can just downgrade Diaz to somebody. With so much uncertainty at the moment, doing as little as possible until we have a better idea of what is happening. Yeah, I mean, that's true too. Imagine Chelsea and City. Yeah, we would be in some serious trouble. Watkins 5 shots in 5 games is actually not good. I mean, yeah, that's true too. But they are playing Norwich, who are decimated. But like, I know Watkins is going to play this game. I know for sure. And who would I rather have? Would I rather have Watkins or would I rather have Saint Maximin? I think I'd rather have Watkins, to be honest. Also, haven't Villa's fixtures over the last like 4 been like terrible? Yeah, they played against Brighton, who are stingy, Crystal Palace, who are good, City, Leicester, who are average, but Liverpool, like 4 out of those 5 games are like somewhat tricky at the moment. I feel like 1 week punts never work. Watkins for the next 2. Yeah, Watkins for the next 2, Lukaku for the next 2, and then get rid of Lukaku for Ronaldo again. And I can just do Lukaku, like, so I can do 2 free transfers, hopefully not have to make any transfers for the weekend. Cancelo will be back, which is nice. Maybe Smith Rowe comes back into the team if he's not benched or whatever. And then I can go Lukaku and Diaz out, because Diaz, I think, play Leicester, and they almost always concede to Leicester randomly. And I can go Diaz to like Delo or something like that. You're going for Sterling. Go for whatever your heart tells you. So I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go with Lukaku and Watkins. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna confirm it. Ronaldo, Saint Maximin, Lukaku, Watkins. Let's do it. Okay, so Lukaku comes in for Cancelo. And then Lukaku with the vice captain. Trent goes there. Smith Rowe goes there. Smith Rowe there. Jota there. Cancelo there. And then Watkins there. Watkins there. Lukaku there. Vice captain. Save. And then do I play Ramsdale versus West Ham is the question. A guy I follow on a podcast on it does it as well. So I do it. Yep. I mean, yeah, go for it. What's the famous phrase? Great minds think alike. Is that what you go for? Is that the saying? Something like that. But yeah, it's just over 10 minutes till the deadline. By the way, so make sure to have your teams all in order, because it's a bit of a wonky one. The deadline would have been over already if the United game was going ahead. But since it's not, make sure to have your teams all in order, nice and early. Am I really tempted to do nothing and bench Ronaldo and play Brownhill? Your guess is as good as mine. But Brownhill on the scout lineups is predicted to be benched for Cork, apparently. That's just a prediction. It's not set in stone by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, who knows? Maybe Dyche is a Brownhill to a 6.9 mid, or Hwang. I mean, you can go for Bowen. Bowen's 6.5. He'd be real good. Yeah. Yeah. Where's the? I'll bring it up on the side here. Let's see. I don't see anything. I don't see anything. Richarlison's out for a number of weeks. We know that. That's confirmed. Yeah, let me check the scout site real quick. Yeah, predicted lineups. So where's Burnley? Yeah, so Neil's on the Burnley team. He thinks that Goodmanson, Westwood, Cork, and McNeil are going to be the ones in midfield with Rodriguez and Wood. Obviously, Neil can get things wrong. But he says, well, Jack Cork has returned to the team at the expense of the Gameweek 2-15 starter Josh Brownhill against West Ham and will tussle with his positional rival for the spot alongside Ashley Westwood. So, there you go. That's what he seems to think. Martinelli at 5.2 looks tasty. Yep, that's true. Looks good. I think Watkins is fine. At least we know Watkins' team is playing. Because I don't see anything on Twitter, and they would have probably cancelled it by now. For the Norwich and Aston Villa game, so. Yeah. Speaking of which, I should probably take a picture of my team. So I'm going to do that really quickly while I'm thinking of it. So at least I have the screenshot for later. So I can post it on Twitter. For all of y'all. There we go. Got it done. Is it worth a -4? Depends on who. Again, with the -4, it depends on who you're getting rid of. And who you would play instead. If that person you're playing instead is nobody, then it's a -2. So, that's what you have to weigh up. With any form of hits, that's what you always have to weigh up for hits. Who would I play instead? Right? That's what you have to look at. Hwang to Watkins in the -4? Yeah, I think that's fine. Hwang will probably start. But, I mean... You know, Wolves... I don't even know who Wolves play this week. Who do Wolves play this week? They play Brighton. So, probably not going to get much joy in that anyway. Wolves don't typically score many goals either. So, yeah, I think Watkins could be good. Watkins is definitely better than Hwang, I think. Is over the next two, for sure, I think. Yeah, 5 minutes till the FPL deadline. Make sure your teams are all in order. Keeping Hwang, maybe it's the time to shine when Jimenez is absent. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Either which way, you'll be happy. You just need to be happy with the decision. I think Hwang can do well versus Brighton. I think without Jimenez in there. But there is also a chance that Hwang might not play. They could play what? Traore, Trincao, Podence, or whoever. But Hwang will most likely play. He'll probably play through the middle, which is actually good. Because that's where he typically plays, rather than being played off the left. So. Ronaldo to Watkins, no hits. Yep, and you could just go right back as well. You could just go right back. With Watkins, you get a benching headache. So, might be good to have. Might be very good to have. Right. So let me just refresh Twitter. I'm going to refresh Twitter one more time, and then I'm going to refresh my team, and we'll do the rundown, and then we will go from there. I don't see anything. I don't see anything in regards to the games being canceled or changed. They're just talking about broadcast scheduling and stuff. Yeah, I don't see anything. Don't see anything in regards to that. So this is the team that we have. So we made 2 free transfers. We brought in Watkins. We brought in Lukaku for Ronaldo and St. Maximan. We've gone with a 4-4-2. Salah captained. We got Guaita in goal. Trent, Diaz, James, Alonso, Salah, Jota, Smith Rowe, and Rafinha, Watkins, and Lukaku. Ramsdale could burn us again, but we will see on that front. No Livramento means potentially no party for them, potentially. Yeah, Ramsdale might burn us again this week. I just think West Ham, they've just been playing against the better teams well, so hopefully we can get, West Ham can get a goal. Hopefully it's not Bowen or Antonio, though. That would be nice. And then Smith Rowe plays and then scores, and it's a 1-1. That'd be ideal. But yeah, that's the team up on the screen. Snow's gone with Ramsdale, Alonso, James, Trent, Salah, Jota, Gallagher, Bernardo, Watkins, Dennis, and Antonio. I think that team's good. I think it's real good. Actually, you know what? Do I play Ramsdale? I think West Ham will score. I'm going to stick with Guaita. But yeah, let's talk about Fantasy Football Scout one more time before we sign off, because the deadline's going to be in 2 minutes. So let's talk about that. So if you haven't heard about Fantasy Football Scout, it's fantastic. Make sure to check it out. You get access to all the stats tables and all that sort of stuff. Heat maps, rate my team, the season ticker, all that sort of stuff. You get discount in the preseason or during Black Friday, or when they do specials, which is £5 off. Typically, it's usually £25. It's 20, and you get it for the whole season. You can always cancel at the end of the season and get the discount in the preseason if you got midway through the season. But regardless of what price you paid, you get the same content for everything in the members area. And also, they've souped up the members area with a beta test area, which makes things a little bit better than what I have on the screen as well. So make sure to check that out as well. So let's move over to the big screen. So that is going to do it for the FPL deadline stream. You got about 30 seconds left to make sure your teams are locked in. I'm going to double check my team one more time because I get a bit wary of it. Yep, looks good. So yeah, make sure to have your teams locked in. Like, favorite, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Best of luck. Hopefully not too many cancellations. Fingers crossed. And until the next one, take care.